Hey guys, and welcome back to another Broken Out game video. Today's video is going to be about how to future-proof your account. So let's get to it. Now, the biggest thing to future-proof your account is you're going to do two things. You're going to level jobs, and you're going to level up your account rank. You'll notice here on my top left-hand corner, my account rank is rank 90, and then you're going to be seeing here on the left-hand side, the base stats calculator. So we're going to talk about the base stats calculator first. And the reason why I have this at account rank 80 is because I believe this is the rank that as a free-to-play is fairly achievable, because if you have like the correct point values. So, but before we get to the ranks, let's go to the characters. So I have every single character right now selected at level 12, right? Level 12, level 12, level 12. And the reason why I have them selected at level 12 is to show you every single character pretty much maxed out in the game provides 9,900 stats, or these stats respectively. And the reason why that is a big deal is because these stats are forever. You forever get a legendary weapon. And some of you are wondering, well, like, how would I even technically achieve the job mastery points to level up every single class currently available in the game so that I can have 9,900 stats? And this is where account rank pretty much jumps in. So when you go into story, ideally the best place to farm, and this is based off of Yume's Google Excel spreadsheet that she made, or he, and pretty much it gives you the values for the best story, AP to EXP ratio. Now you'll notice here that we have Act 1 Hard 4, alright? 23 AP, but it's 196 ranked 8 EXP. You can see here the well, you can't see it, but if you look into the actual like cell, it's a division, so it's dividing the amount of AP to the rank, the amount of EXP. So 23 divided by 196 is 8.5. So that will pretty much tell you that the EXP to AP ratio is not good. But the one for Act 2, Chapter 4, any verse, it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be verse 2, but Act 2, Chapter 4 will provide you more ranked EXP. And the reason why that is so important to know is because now we can jump into how to get every single job to pretty much account rank 12, or to job rank 12. So you're going to select Active Hatred, and then you're going to go to pretty much any, chapter that you want. And the one that's suggested is 4-2, because this one has a lot of monsters in it for pretty much your character to acquire job mastery in. Now you do not, I repeat, you do not have to do this one, but this is the one that's suggested by a majority of players because there's 3 waves. The first wave has 3 enemies, the second wave has 4 enemies, and the last wave has 3 enemies. So ideally, you find the waves with the most amount of monsters so you can acquire more mastery points, and those mastery points will translate into your job. So you'll see how these two things are very related. And note that account rank level, like I talked about it earlier, how pretty much it provides a lot of like a lot of HP to your characters. But the biggest thing that I wanted to note was that you also get a massive amount of AP. So set this to auto. You can see the max amount of AP for a rank 1 account is at 30. But when you jump to 80, it goes all the way up to 133. And once you jump to 100, it'll jump to 160. And the biggest reason why this is so important is because your AP to crystal refill ratio will be much better over time as your account rank levels up. And that account rank will technically never go down. So that's why this is so important, is because these two things last forever. Your base stats acquired from jobs will always pretty much be at this level, and your account rank and AP, your HP, will always be extremely high. And that's why these are the 2 most future-proof things that you can currently do in the game. Now, let's talk about how to look at weapons and what to really expect into this game if you want to get stronger. The thing that I want to note, and this is probably the more important thing, is how to find a particular a very good weapon. Since we've been into this game for like a week or so, and I want to talk about like what to look for in a weapon so we can future-proof ourselves. And the way you future-proof yourself is you find a weapon something similar to Shameless Ambition. And Shameless Ambition has a tier 4 skill and Dauntless Courage level 2 or tier 2. And the reason why this is so important is because skills, weapon skills, or weapon tiered skills are based off of your character's whole stats. It's not based off of the single weapon stats. So if you're wondering, oh, if my weapon has like, you know, does an 8,000 stat weapon and a 5,000 stat weapon hit the same? No. What makes a weapon hit different is literally this tiered skill right here. So the biggest thing is you want to find weapons with high tier skills values because they will pretty much help you deal more damage with that weapon specifically. Now I know that there's not a lot of events that can help you leverage a fire weapon, but right now this is one of the best swords in the entire game because it is a tier 4 and it has Dauntless Courage. Both of these things are extremely hard to acquire on one weapon, alright? It is very difficult to acquire this on one weapon. Even the new Nier weapon that's coming out, the Type 4O Blade, doesn't have this, but at least it has a tier 4 skill. It does have Replenish Magic, which isn't bad for Calo, but at the same time, you'd much rather have Dauntless Courage because Dauntless Courage is essentially a crit modifier within the game that's built in for Calo. Note that pretty much Dauntless Courage is like the best skill. You don't have to prioritize it to the point where you're only running like Dauntless Courage weapons, because Dauntless Courage is, just think of it as a crit on that specific weapon, right? On that specific weapon. So if you're trying to crit on every single weapon, it's going to be very RNG. So for now, I would suggest using weapons that have more, you know, better stats. But you can look for weapons that have Dauntless Courage. Just know that it applies only to that weapon. And you're wondering, well, what's the difference between a tier 3 and a tier 4? The difference between a tier 3 and a tier 4 is that tier 3 has flavor text that says like greatly on it, yeah? It has text that says greatly on it. The only issue that I have with tier 3s is that pretty much like it's not that they don't last as long, it's just that they will only get so close to a tier 4 skill. They will only get so close to a tier 4 skill. This is an exception though. This is the cleric staff that's currently in the Royal Nightmare, or in the Royal User Service Shop, and it is by far the best staff currently for clerics, or one of the best staffs for clerics in the entire game, even though it's tier 3. And why is that? Because it is a fixed value to heal 2 people at the same time. It is a fixed value to heal 2 people at the same time. And this is like important because it's not 1 to 2. Most of the staffs in the game say 1 to 2 or heals 1 ally. This one heals 2, fixed. Alright? So this is something that you should look for as a support because it does fixed 2 people. Yes, it's tier 3, but at the same time, like this is like pretty much everything that you need. This weapon will take forever to be properly power crept because there's not a lot of weapons out there that heals 2 allies specifically. Most staffs heal like 1 to 2. So for supports, this is stuff that you're looking for. I went over this in my support guide, so I won't get too long-winded. So now that you know what to look for in a weapon, since you know, hey, look for a tier 4 skill. If the Calo skill isn't that great, then it's fine, but you know, it won't last as long as something like this. Now the stats are a little bit lower. It's like, you know, 600 total stats lower, but at the same time, like where does it matter? It's only technically 100 off from the physical attack, so technically it's not as bad. It's still doable, like it's still workable. Things that I want to look forward to into the future is, note, if I filter this, well, I actually filtered it already properly. So I filtered this by pretty much like upgraded, and then I sorted this by total stats, right? So if I scroll all the way up, just note that the Christmas event is going to drop the best armor in the entire game. So Christmas isn't that far off technically, and if they drop the armor for the this armor for the pretty much the game, it's going to be really huge gains. So the things that I want to recap essentially to future-proof yourself is that you want to get a bunch of jobs, you want to raise your account rank level, because raising your account rank level pretty much goes in tangent with raising job mastery or getting job mastery points, so you can increase the level of your jobs. Not only that, but ranks also provide more AP so you can farm more and you have more HP. And lastly, you want to look for weapons, specifically stuff for DPS, stuff like this, you know, Dauntless Courage 2 and a tier 4 skill. It doesn't have to be this specific element, And ideally also for supports, you find weapons that heals up to or buffs 2 allies at once, right? Now this doesn't have support boon, and support boon is definitely something to look forward to. But the thing is healing 2 allies at once at a fixed rate is much better in my opinion. But at the same time, like, it's kind of too early to fall in love with any game or any weapon, like I said earlier. And this is just like a min-max thing for people in late game. Because right now I feel like in late game a lot of people have already maxed out every single weapon. They're just like, what do I do? I'm tired of just farming gorilla and like losing my gosh darn mind. Well, this is another thing that you can do and lose your mind on. It's pretty much going into chapter 4 or act 2 chapter 4 and farming the crap out of a verse that you think that is very viable in chapter 4. So you can pretty much keep getting stronger without worrying about having to pull a weapon. But at the same time, you should probably prep for the events by acquiring Evo materials, this, that, and the third. But also save your mental sanity for what's about to come in the near event. Anyways, that's how you future-proof your account. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. And I will see you